Okay, so we will start and let other people also join. Okay, finally they will join. Now we will start now. So already yesterday we have seen about the stored about the PL SQL. Okay, why this is why this language is required? What is the use we have? Yesterday we have seen, and few examples of also we have seen yesterday. And unfortunately, I don't have the Oracle installed in my machine right now. Don't worry. Whenever any example is required to show up, okay, I'll try to explain it into the MySQL because MySQL is also supporting, okay, few of the things. And then okay, so we will go by this way. So yeah, so already we know what is procedural language. And okay, so it's kind of it is the language for SQL basically. And if I want to, you know, provide the collection of statement, these statements are nothing but the SQL statement as a block. Okay, as a block in the sense, in the, you know, in the flavor of programmatic way approach, in the way of programmatic. Okay, in a programmatic approach, if you want to submit multiple SQL statement as a block, you can use this procedural language. Okay, so basically we will have, you know, uh, some procedural statement, and how we can write procedural statement by using declaring variable initialization, control statements, looping statements, etc. Okay, and yesterday, okay, we'll see these things in detail, but basically I have divided this total PL SQL part into four anonymous block and procedures, you can say. Okay, so yesterday we have seen few examples of anonymous block. Okay, how to declare any variable, how to initialize the variable. Okay, what is the exact place where exactly you can define your variable, and which is the place where you cannot define the variable and you have to write their statements only. Okay, so these things yesterday we have seen. Okay, so there are few more things, okay, today we'll see. And yeah, second thing is stored procedure. Okay, and then third one is triggers, and then cursors. Okay, so yesterday we have seen the first anonymous block. Okay, and we have seen the syntax for that. Okay, declaration part, this is the declaration phase, and this is the statement phase where you can write multiple statements, but you cannot declare any variable here. Okay, you cannot declare any variable here. So if you want to declare the variable, you have to declare always into the declaration section. Also, if you want to initialize that here, it does, I mean it, you can declare as well as initialize also in a single line. Okay, there is no problem at all. But if you want to just declare the variable, okay, so you cannot declare here. Okay, always you have to use declare phase. Inside the declaration section, always you have to declare the variable. If you want to initialize, you can initialize also, but in the begin section, okay, always you have to write the SQL statements where if you whatever variables you have defined, and or maybe you have initialized those variable in declaration phase. If you want to use those variables, okay, and you want to perform some you want to write some logic, you want to utilize those values, you want to print those values. Okay, so these variables and all you can use inside the statement sections. Okay, and at last there is a and and slash. So what does it mean? I mean, ultimately I am just saying, okay, this is the delimiter, so I am saying here this is my end of my program. Okay, and if you want to print some messages onto the console, okay, so this is the syntax: dbms underscore output dot put and some message. Okay, so dbms underscore output dot put and dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. The difference between these two is in this condition, okay, where you are using only put, that means the cursor will remain in same line. But when you will use dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, okay, your cursor will move to the next line, your cursor will shift to the next line. So this is the advantage. If you want, okay, based on your requirement you can use this print statement also. But one thing that you need to remember is, always whenever you want to, or whenever you want to enable all these print statement, you have to write set server output as on. Okay, you have to make server output as on, or you have to enable all the print statements. Clear? And we have seen a couple of examples yesterday. Okay, so these are few print statements that I am seeing here. Okay, there is no declaration. Okay, that means I'm not saying here declare. If you don't need any variable, no need to specify declare here. Direct you can execute your statements. Okay, if you want to execute, if you want to execute some SQL statement, okay, you can write like this: insert into student table values, and accordingly you provide the value, etc., and it will work like that. Okay, something like this. Okay, so these statements you can always define inside the statement section. Okay, here there is no declaration I am doing. Okay, similarly, if you don't want to specify anything, you don't want to print anything, you don't have any statement, if you want to just write null, that's it. So it won't do anything, just okay, simply begin null and slash. If you want to just create the table, you create the table, but again these are the new variables you are using here. Okay, so or make sure that all the ddl statement will come before the begin section only, because here you're right, you're defining the definition part. I mean, it's a kind of definition you are writing. Okay, so that's why it will always come into the initialization in the declaration part only. Okay, but while using these ddl commands, you don't need to say explicitly declare. Okay, remember this also. So clear? Now for oracle, already we have seen, if I want to declare some variable, okay, write the variable name and the corresponding data type. Okay, or if the something variable name and data type, or if it is required size, you specify size like this: int id as int type, and name is of type varchar 25. Okay, so these are the basic example. Now I want to initialize the variable. Okay, so yesterday we have seen how to initialize the variable, some variable name, maybe you have defined id in the declaration phase. Now I want to initialize this variable either in declaration section or into the statement section. Okay, wherever. If you want to initialize that, okay, this is how you have to initialize this. Some variable name is equal to some value. Okay, and make sure, if you want to collect the data from keyboard, okay, you have to use the uh, placeholder. And if you, it depends on your data type. If your data type is numeric, okay, then you have to specify and that particular variable name. If data type is of type char, okay, maybe varchar, or maybe means like if your data type is like, you know subcategory of characters, right? In that case, you have to go for variable name, and you have to specify, you have to use single quote. You have to include this within the single quotes. Okay, and we have seen couple of examples also. Clear, guys? So uh, you guys are having any problem? Okay, I mean, if you are having any kind of doubt or problem, you can just ask, you can just let me know if you have any kind of problem. Okay, otherwise we'll continue. Yeah, Khanak is saying clear. So I don't think that you guys are having any doubt. So we'll continue now. Okay, fine. So what we will do, so we will see here. So this is the example of anonymous block. Okay, what is anonymous block? The block which does not contain any name. Okay, if the block is not having any kind of name, that block itself is known as anonymous block. Okay, so what generally we used to do with anonymous block, generally if we want to simply execute few statements or some some basic execution if I want to perform, where, okay, why, see, there is anonymous block or procedure, and some are stored procedure also. Okay, so stored procedure will have some name with it. Stored procedure will have the name with it. Okay, but anonymous block with the I mean, it not, they are not containing the name. Clear? Anonymous block does not contain the name, but stored procedure will contain the name also. Okay, what is the use? Because later on, maybe I am writing some functionality, okay, and I want to use it later. Okay, maybe it's an important feature and I have already written inside these blocks, okay, and maybe I want to utilize it in future. I want to reuse this functionality. For that thing, okay, you have to go for stored procedure. So basically this procedure will have the name, and by that name you can store that information. Okay, so next time whenever you want to call that stored procedure, you can just call and just type the store procedure name. That's it. So automatically you can call it, okay, as and when as it is required in future. Okay, so this is the basic difference between anonymous block and stored procedure. Clear? So anonymous block you cannot store because it's a temporary purpose. If you want to write some logic, okay, and you want to perform some temporary task, and later on you don't want to use it, okay, you don't want to reuse this code functionality, okay, in that case you can just use anonymous block. Okay, I am having one immediate requirement, it's a temporary thing, it's for temporary thing, okay, so just I have written few statements and I want to execute at a in programmatic way. So I have just used anonymous block. But because I don't want to store this for the future. Okay, I don't want to reuse this feature in the later point in time. So this is kind of anonymous block where you don't have to store this. It's a kind of temporary thing, okay, and you can perform some temporary operation. Okay, fine. So I think it's clear to all of you. So here all again these explanation is not required because already I have explained it yesterday. So I think these are few basic examples that I was showing you. Okay, so make sure whenever you are using any print statement, you have to make server output as on. Okay, so then only these print statement will be executed. The output of this corresponding print statement will be displayed on your console. Okay, when you have already make server output as on. If it is not on, if it is off, then by default you are not going to see the output on your console. Fine, is that clear? Okay, fine. So yeah, so this is the output. Okay, fine. Let me delete this, which is not required. Now we will see, okay, how to declare the variable. Okay, how to declare the variable. Declaring the variable inside the MySQL. Already we have seen how to declare variable in Oracle. Okay, so already we know inside the declaration section you can define the variable, you can declare the variable like this. And because this is the initialization in the same line, maybe suppose I have declared these variables here. Okay, so this is in the case of Oracle, but if it is the case of MySQL, okay, then you have to write declare and variable name and data type. Always you have to write declare. Okay, but in the Oracle case, only once declare is required, and then you declare n number of variables. Okay, but in the case of MySQL, you always have to use declare, variable name, and data. Let's see here, for example. Okay, I want to declare what I want to declare. I want to declare id of type int. Okay, so see here what is it saying. Okay, let me just Let me just 1 minute. Okay, so this is the syntax of MySQL. Let me just take this. Okay, so first you have to see here, you have to write delimiter. Okay, and then if you will simply, if you will simply write any statement, some statement, any statement. Okay, select, insert. Okay, insert into table, something. Okay, this statement will not end as long as you will not press semicolon. Once you will press semicolon, immediately, okay, it will say, okay, whatever it is. So it's just for termination purpose. Okay, I am just using semicolon. Similarly, to hold this, okay, I want to hold it. I don't want to terminate these syntaxes. I want to hold that. So to hold that, you have to write delimiter. And what is the delimiter for MySQL? Dollar. Now, now if you will type any statement, okay, so it will not terminate immediately. It will not terminate immediately. Okay. So let's see here some examples. Suppose. So these are the example for store procedure. But suppose suppose now I want to declare the variable. Okay. So declare id int. Okay. Now I am pressing this semicolon also. Okay. So here see, there is no problem at all. Begin, and then here you can write select star from, you know a student. Okay, and at last the dollar. Okay, so here what's the problem? Okay, we will write a delimiter. Okay, dollar, and then let me just execute this statement only. See, so something like this. Okay, we'll see that in detail, don't worry. So something, I mean, you have to just write delimiter and hold that cursor. Okay, and as long as, again, if you will not press this dollar, okay, you can write a number of statements, okay, in between this boundary of this dollar. Okay, so like this. So we'll see. Okay, so this is the syntax. If I want to declare some variable, this is the syntax: declare variable name and the corresponding data type. You can see, for example, declare student id and it is of type int. Okay, similarly declare as name and is of type characters. Character size is 10. Okay, now I want to assign some value to the variable. Okay, in the case of Oracle, what we need to write? Okay, variable name colon is equal to some value, but here you have to write set variable name is equal to value. There is a small difference between the syntaxes from Oracle to MySQL. Okay, okay, so now here we will see set sid is equal to 101. Okay, clear? Already we have declared this sid as int. Now set sid as 101, set s name as some name. Okay, now if you are defining the PL SQL block, then it will be executed immediately. Okay, if you're defining the PL/SQL block, then it will be executed immediately. It won't be stored in the DB. So I already told you, it's since it is a anonymous block, so whenever you are writing any statement inside the procedure, that procedure will be executed immediately. Okay, so this is the disadvantage. Now if later point in time, if I want to use this, I cannot do so because it's an anonymous block. Okay, it's an anonymous procedure which has to be executed immediately. It's for temporary purpose. It won't be stored inside the DB at all. Okay, now my requirement is, if you want to reuse the PL/SQL block, then you need to store the PL/SQL with some name. Okay, with some name. If you want to reuse the PL/SQL block, then you need to store the PL/SQL block with some name. You can say using function or procedure. Okay, we will see how to define the function. Okay, if you either way, if you are defining the function later on, you can use that function. Okay, if you're defining the procedure later on, you can use the procedure. Okay, but if you are not, means if you don't want to store, okay, don't use, I mean that if you don't want to store permanently inside the DB for later point in time uses, in that case no need to define function, no need to define the procedure. Okay, so this is how it is, and those procedures are known as stored procedure. Clear? If you want to store the procedure with some name, because that procedure must have some name, then only it will be stored. Okay, so those procedures are known as stored procedure. Okay, and what is the difference between simple procedure and stored procedure? That stored procedure will always contain one name, and later on you can reuse the functionality, but the procedure are just kind of the set of some statements, okay, defined inside the PL/SQL block. Those PL/SQL block will be executed immediately, and later point in time, whenever I want to use, you cannot use that because it does not contain any name and it is not stored inside the DB also. So later on we can't access that block, right? If you want to store that block inside the DB permanently, you have to give some name and store it inside the DB. Those procedures, those are having the name, are known as stored procedures. Okay, clear? So here, see here now. So this is very interesting thing now. Okay, you can see here it's a very easy also. Conditional statement. If I want to specify some condition inside the block, then you can use if else, and if else if. Okay, and yeah. So in the case of MySQL, these are the syntaxes for 1 minute. So this syntax is for generally work for both. Okay, if and some condition, then and write some statement. Okay, and if you want to close the if block, you have to write and if, like how you are defining in some programming language. If you are writing if, and if you are defining some x is greater than y, then you are defining this block. So similarly, this block is equivalent to if some condition. Okay, now instead of this starting curly brace, you have to write then, and here you have to write, instead of closing curly braces, you have to write and if, and here you can write statement. Similarly here, how it is. So you can now compare. So this is the syntax like this. Clear? So this is the if statement. Now if else, if I want to define, okay, if as well as else, then in the same condition, if condition, then, okay, and here if I want to specify else, okay, here some statements, and then at last and if. Clear? So this is how you can define else block also, and this is the syntax for it. Clear? Now if else if. Now the syntax of if else if in the Oracle is this one. If some condition, then else if some condition, then else if some condition, then and number of statements here. At last else condition, okay, and after that you have to close the block, if block. Okay, so this is the entire syntax for Oracle. But in the case of MySQL, if you want to use if else if, you have to go if condition, then else if. So it's equivalent to, it is equivalent to uh, kind of one programming language, because directly here we are using else if. Okay, but in the case of Oracle, what we are using ELS if. So this is the difference in the syntax. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so here I forgot to write if. That's right. Okay, clear? So any doubt, guys? How to define the if condition, how we can use? Okay, so this is how we can use. Now there are few examples in Oracle. Let's just see here. Because why I'm saying Oracle is because this is the syntax: declare section, begin section, and slash. So this is the kind of example for Oracle. Okay, now declare, because basically this store procedure and all everything are, I mean, you generally we won't use with MySQL generally. Okay, always we will use Oracle. That's why these all most of the examples are for Oracle only. Okay, all triggers, cursor are the topic of Oracle only. So we will see. Okay, now see here, declare. I have defined M1 is of type number is equal to the value is coming from keyboard. Okay, it's a placeholder. But make sure if you want to define the placeholder, this variable name and here the name must be same, and before that you can use ampersand symbol. So like this, I am taking three value from user, and then what is my requirement? My requirement is to calculate the average. If I want, I will collect the three value from user. Okay, and I want to print the output, I mean I want to print average. Okay, so in that case what we have to allow, let me see, somebody is saying something. Okay, so Bhubalan is asking, Abhinay is asking, what is ELSF? ELS is nothing but your else if. Okay, if else if you want to define ELS if, okay, I mean ELS if is equivalent to else if only. The reason why we are using ELS if is because this is the syntax in Oracle. Okay, so you can use else if also as it is in the case of MySQL, but in Oracle you have to use ELS if. So generally how we will write if else if and last condition else and then out from that particular if block. So similarly you can use ELS if also in the case of Oracle, else if in the case of MySQL. Okay, now other next question is Bhubalan is asking what purpose use and symbol. So I think Bhuval, you were not there in the last class. My suggestion would be you can refer my last class. Okay, then you will understand better. So this is basically the placeholder. Okay, so generally, like if I want to collect the value from user through the keyboard, okay, so it will ask, I mean, I want to take some dynamic value from keyboard. Okay, I don't want to hard code it here. Maybe M1 is of type number is equal to, instead of writing here 100, this is the hard coded value, right? Now I cannot change it, this is the fix. Once you will run it, this value will be taken care, but now it's not dynamic. I want to make this procedure dynamic. That means dynamically I want to take the value from keyboard. In that case you have to write and and symbol, and whatever the name of your variable is, the name you have to use it here with and symbol. And make sure if it is the integer type, no single quote is required. Okay, the single quotes are required only when if the type is char or varchar or maybe any character type. Okay, so already we know all these three variables are of type number. These are, that means these are numeric values. So no need to specify, no need to no need to uh, you know enclose with single quote. Correct. Now I want to calculate the average. For what? For that, what we need to do? Now first we are calculating the sum of each value whatever we have collected from user. Okay, so sum is equal to, because already we have declared one variable here, sum number and ab number. Okay, it's a kind, you can say abg, but we cannot use abg and sum. We cannot use this name because already these are some predefined function which are defined already in MySQL. These are the reserved keyword. Already we have studied built-in functions, right? There we have used abg, max, and sum. Okay, so these are the predefined keyword, and you cannot use sum, you cannot use abg, you cannot use max, min, something like that. Okay, these are the some limited keywords, okay, that you need to remember. Now we know, if I want to calculate the average, I have to calculate first sum of all these three values, m1 plus m2 plus m3. Now I am having the sum, calculating the average. Okay, sum divided by 3. So you will have the AB, average. Now I want to print average value. So dbms underscore output dot put underscore line sum is equal to, and the value of sum. Clear? So in the case in Java or maybe in programming language, generally in Python we will use comma, in Java we will use plus. Okay, but here we will use double pipe symbol. Okay, clear? So we are printing sum of all these three values, and now we are printing average also. Okay, and AB, the value of AB it will print. Clear? Now what I will check, what I'm writing, some condition also I'm using here. See, if the average is greater than 70, that means what I want to see, what I want to print, I want to print result is distinction. Okay, or maybe because if it is greater than 70, that means you got the distinction, result is distinction. Now else if, so this is the syntax of Oracle, that's why I'm writing here else if average value is greater than 70, great, that means you, this statement will be executed, something like this. Okay, you can just identify like this, 1 minute, so it will be more clear to you. Okay, so now if average is greater than 70, result is distinction. If average is greater than 60 and less than 70, you are first division. Okay, result is first class. Else, and in the last case, else part. Okay, if greater than 70, if in between 60 and 70, and else part, that means you are having less than 60%. In that case, the result is fail. Okay, so something this logic, I mean some logic I have just written here. Okay, so anyway we already know that if you are having less than 60 also, no problem, you are having second division. So instead of this, what we can write, result is second class. You will not directly fail. Then you can write 1 minute, yeah. So here uh, I think you don't have any doubt, right? Now here you can say this is the condition. Now if not EL, only ELS if you have to use, and if average is greater than how much, 40%, and average is less than 60%. Okay, then your you are having result is second class. Now last condition we have to write, what is that, else part. Okay, Okay, so here we have to write dbms underscore output, and okay, dot put underscore line. Okay, and my print statement will say, okay, if if you are, if you are having less than 40%, that means it's the last condition. So result is, okay, result is failed. Okay, result is failed, something like this. Okay, and at last, and if, that means I am closing the if statement. From here it is started, and from until here. So these are the if else if, the syntax I am using in my Oracle. Okay, in the case of MySQL, instead of this ELS if, you have to use else if. Else if, okay, else, and at last, here you can see, at last you have to use and if. Okay, it's clear. So these are few examples, okay, for if, else if, and if statement, if else statement, if else if statement. Okay, so these are some basic examples for uh, conditional statements. Now looping statements. Okay, so looping statement, we'll see what is loop actually. So there are few loops are there: simple loop, while loop, and for loop. Okay, so simple loop is basically loop, and just write the statement exit when. So it is equivalent to do while something. Okay, it is equivalent to do while, because in the case of Java, I think you must be aware about. Okay, here we will write while, okay, and some condition. Okay, so it this is also same syntax. Okay, if I will write here and loop, okay, and instead of while, what we are writing here, when, and here, okay, in here, instead of this I am writing loop. Okay, so already we are starting loop and we are ending loop, so we know what is the boundary, so we no need to specify these uh, curly braces also. Clear? But at last you have to write exit when the condition. Clear? So, and here you can specify a number of statements. If you want to mention any statement, if you want to execute any statement some number of time, okay, just it's a just syntax. Okay, when there is no purpose at all, it's a just syntax. Do while, then you can ask do. Okay, you can write like this, and at last you are writing while. Then you may ask the question, why while is required here. So it's a just syntax. Clear, Mobalan? Okay, it's just a syntax. You cannot ask the question why they are using while here, why they are using do here, why they don't use does. Okay, and instead of this while, they can use does when it is, when some condition. But you cannot ask this question, because these are the syntaxes predefined given by the database vendors. Okay. Mm, now any doubt in this? Okay, any doubt, guys? How we can define loop? Okay, so all these examples, whatever I'm explaining here, all all you have to do is you have to execute it one by one in your machine. Okay, when we will see the Oracle installation in Oracle, you have to execute all of these examples one by one. Okay, yeah. So there is one more, like, so looping statement. Now we will see looping statement. I want to print the number from 1 to 26. I want to print the number from 1 to 26. So what is the generally, okay, if you will not aware about this, then how we will write in general case. Okay, if you are aware about some programming language, okay, this is for them, they are, if they are aware about any programming language. If you don't know the programming language, don't worry, I will be there. Okay, just wait for a couple of days more, and soon we will start programming. Okay, Java programming. So before that, let's just if I want to print the number from 1 to 1 to 26, then you have to go up to 27. Okay, if you want to print 26, you have to either write like this condition or this condition. Okay, and then I plus plus, and here you can print some print statement. Okay, if this is specific to Java, so I am using this syntax system.out.println. Else you can, in the case of Python, how we will write here, for, okay, for I in range of 10, that's it, print I, that's it. You have to write like this. Okay, in case of C, you have to write for same int I equal to 1, I is less than equal to 26, I plus plus. Okay, and you have to write println in the case of C. Okay, and semicolon is required. In Python, semicolon is not required, but in the case of C, it's a very old traditional language, so already the old syntax only. Okay, in the case of Oracle, I mean Scala, you have to write I for I from from, you know, you have to write like this, something 26, something like this. Okay, so we will see that, don't worry. Okay, so these are the few syntaxes. Now I want to specify, in uh, maybe I want to write the procedure, right? So already we have seen what we have to do. First we have to declare some variable, declare. Okay, and the declaration section, I'm just talking about the Oracle. How we will write declare, okay, I int, okay, colon is equal to 1. Already we are starting from 1. Okay, now begin. Here what I have to write, I want to print from 1 to 26, loop. Okay, loop, I want to print dbms, okay, dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. What you have to write, I, okay, and then I is equal to I plus 1, and here you have to write, so what we have to write here, uh, exit. Okay, exit. So see here, I is equal to I plus 1, simply we can't write, we have to write colon is equal to I plus 1, exit, when, okay, I is equal to 26, or maybe I want to print up to 50, so it depends on your condition. Okay, now and then slash. So this is how you have to write the procedure if you want to loop from 1 to 26. Any doubt in this, guys? Are you able to write this syntaxes? Are you able to write the program like this? Any confusion to anybody? Please confirm. Any confusion, guy? Please tell me if you are having any doubt. Are you able to write it by your own? Okay. So then this is the question for tomorrow. Just write it. Okay. I'm giving one question to you guys. So I want the answer. Write a procedure. Write a procedure. Okay. To check whether given number given number is palindrome or not. Okay, second question, write a procedure. Now you all aware about that, how to take the values from the user. Okay, so one value, so this particular procedure should take the value from user, and that value you need to check whether this value is palindrome or not. Write a procedure to check whether given number is Armstrong or not. Okay, so I think you must aware about this Armstrong palindrome. Okay, and if write a procedure to check whether given number is given number is okay. Only two questions. Okay, just try it at yourself for your practice purpose. Okay, so okay, so we'll see. This is one example to print from 1 to 26. Now example 2 is I want to check, okay, whether the number provided by user, or maybe here they are taking the I number and they are starting from 1 up to 70. Okay, they are starting from 1 up to 70, and what they are checking, the divisible by 7. If they are checking if it is divisible by 7, okay, then print the value, otherwise go to the next label. Okay, so what they are doing, declaring one variable called I. In the beginning section they are just initializing it, or you can write this initialization thing here also. What you can write like this. Okay, but anyway, you can initialize there also and you can initialize here also, but declaration always must be there. So here I is equal to 1, loop started if I mod 7. What it will return? It will return the uh, remainder. It will give you the remainder. For checking purpose, if I is divided by 7, is there any remainder? If it is equal to 0, that means there is no remainder, I mean 0. Then that particular value I, okay, is divisible by 7, so I am printing here 7. Okay, and condition is closed. That's it. If we started from here and close it here, then I am just increasing the value by 1, and this loop will go up to the less than 70. Okay, it started from 1 up to 70. It will print all the, all the numbers which are divisible by 7. Clear? End of loop and end and slash. Any doubt into this? Now next question. See here. Declare. Inside the declaration section, I am declaring two variable I and A. Okay. So here inside the begin section, uh, I am just initializing the value of I from 1, starting one loop, taking A is equal to I into 7. Okay, now, so what I'm doing, I'm printing the table of 7. That's it. Clear? 7, 7, 7, 14, 21, 28, like that. Clear? So this is the program for that. Now this is the statement, this is the while loop. Now we will see how we can define while loop. So why these things are important, and why I'm, because these things you can practice at your home and in the Oracle DB. Okay, so these are very easy syntax. So for your familiarity, I'm just explaining here. So syntax is, suppose, while, okay, and loop and end loop. In between this is the boundary. Okay, so this is the while, and already we have seen do while. So it will start from loop. Okay, some statements, previous syntax I'm talking about. Okay, and okay, so exit when and some condition. So instead of this, now you have to define the condition first and then end loop and end and then slash. So this is the old syntax. Now here, uh, this is for do while and this is for here at last you have to write and slash. So this is basically I'm not writing this and slash because this is required when you are writing any procedure. Okay, so here this is only the syntax for do while. Clear? Already we have seen. Now we'll see some example. Very easy actually it is. Why? So again, I want to print the number from 1 to 26. So here, so already we have seen few programs. Now this is for loop, right? Now I want to use from while. I want to write it from while. So I will write while. So before that you have to declare int I is equal to 1. Now if I is less than 26, okay, yeah, if it is less than equal to 26, that means I want to continue, right? So print I, right? And I equal to I plus 1. Or in some programming language, you can write like this also, direct I plus plus. Okay. Most of the programming language, we will use I plus plus symbol also. But this is the way. I plus plus is same like this. I plus plus is equivalent to this only. Internally, I plus plus is also doing I is equal to I plus 1 only. Okay. Now that's it. So from the while loop also we can print the statement like this. Okay, so yes, so here what they are doing, same thing. Okay, now I'm just writing here. Now guys, can you please tell, okay, without seeing, now what I need to write here? I want to print, okay, the value from 1 to 26. Okay, I want to print the value from 1 to 26. What we should write here? Okay, I want to write the procedure. What we should write, guys? Can you please quickly respond? I mean, line by line. What we should write here? Begin. Okay, my procedure is begin from here. Now, you want to declare something, guys? Please tell me. You want to declare something here? Yeah. So where you will declare? After the begin or before the begin? Before begin. Okay. So before begin, I want to declare. What you will write? I want to declare one variable called I of type int, and I want to initialize also in the same line. What will you write?
We will write declare
Okay, declare. Now
int int
int,
I equal to 1 and semicolon.
first of all, not equal to, colon is equal to 1, and also
Colon equal.
yeah, and also data type will come later. It's not like
Okay, sorry.
yeah, because it's a database way, so you have to declare like this. Now what you will do? Begin. Then I want to print the value from 1 to 26. I am already having the variable I is equal to 1 now, and you have to see, you have to use while loop. So already I have explained you while, and you have to define the condition, right? I is less than equal to 26, and before that oh yeah, so while this is the condition, and yes, here, so here we can't use like this. Okay, so for this is the way loop, okay, and end loop. This is equivalent to this, okay, and this end loop is equivalent to this. Clear? Now inside this boundary you can write, I want to print the I value. So dbms underscore, what I need to write?
Output dot put underscore line
Mhm. Okay, simple,
and
right?
in brackets. Yeah.
Anything else you need here? Will it print up to 26? Please confirm. Is there anything missing?
Then we need to increment the I.
Yes. So I is equal to
I
I
plus
plus
1.
1. Clear? And loop, and you have to use and also, and at last slash. Okay, so this is how we can write like this. See here, it's the same only. Wow, great, right? So I think now there is no problem, right, guys? Both are same only. Clear? So only difference is that we have initialized this value here inside the begin section. Okay, but we have already declared in same line, and we have forgot the semicolon also. So I int colon is equal to 1. You can do like this also. I int and I colon is equal to 1 here also. Okay, both are same only. Okay, yeah. So now we will see the next example. Simple, right? Now my requirement is, earlier what we did, we printed the value from 1 to 70. I want to print all the values from 1 to 70 which are divisible by 7. Okay, I want to write the procedure using while loop. I want to print from 1 to 70. I want to print the number which should be divisible by 7. Now can you please quickly tell how we will write, guys? First we will declare one variable, right? So declare now some variable int. If you want to initialize it in the single same line, you can write like this: 1. Okay, declare I int colon is equal to 1. Okay, now begin. Here you have to execute some statements, right? So you have to write the condition while I is less than equal to 70. Up to 70 I want, right? Up to 70. Now start the loop, because this is the condition, right? In the programming language we will write like this. So instead of this first curly braces, what we will write? Loop. And for instead of this uh, closing curly braces, we have to write, what we have to write? Tell me. Exit.
And loop.
Sorry, and
Oh,
right? Clear? So we will remove this, and yes. So this is for your understanding purpose. Just I'm saying, and this is your boundary. So here you write multiple statements. Okay, and here loop, and then and slash. Here you write the condition. Already condition you wrote. Only thing is you have to execute few statements. What we have to write here? Now you have to now use if condition also, because if I will write dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, if I will directly print I, and if I will say I colon is equal to I plus 1, that means is I am just simply increasing the value and I'm printing it, and it will print the value from 1 to 70. I don't want to print this value. I want to print this value but conditionally. Okay, just cut this line. What is the condition? If you have to define the condition, if I value, if I will divide by 7 should be equal to 0. Okay, if I will divide I value by 7, it should be equal to 0. If it is 0, okay, if it is 0, then you execute this. Clear? So in that case only, all the numbers which are divisible by 7 will be printed. Clear? Let me check if I am doing any mistake. Okay, so here again I did one mistake. So here instead of this curly brace, I have to use then, and closing curly brace. For that what I do in end, Clear? So this is how you can define your own procedure. Okay. Yeah, I mean 67 by 7. What is the value? Okay, guys, can you please respond? If I will write, okay, 67 mod 7. Okay, what should be the output of this line? No, suppose I want to print. No. It will print if you will write like this. Okay, if you will write like this, 67 mod 7. If you will print like this, okay, what it will print? Guys, can you please tell me? Remainder. Yes, Abhinay, you were also right. Then why again you told false? Remainder only. So what is the remainder here? 4. Correct. So it will check if 67 mod 7 is equal to 0, but it is not 0, it is 4. That's why it is not divisible by 7. Okay, suppose 42. Now what will be the output for this line? Guys, can you please tell me? If I want to print this 42, yeah, so Akanksha is saying 0. Correct only, right? That means 0 is equal to 0. That means this number, okay, so this I value is 42. This 42 is divisible by 7. Correct? Yeah, yes, Boglan, you're right. So I think clear, right, guys? So we will see a few more examples and we'll close the session. Okay, so here what we are doing here, see, yeah, we are just printing the table. It's again very simple only. Can you write your own table? If I want to print the table of 7, how to write the procedure? Can everybody very who reminder? So Abhinay is asking something. Who reminder 4? Sir, can you please explain? Yeah, so 67 by 4, 67 by 7. If you will do, okay, basically, if you will do mod. So generally, what we are taking here, reminder. Reminder means if you will divide 67 by 7, okay, 7 into 9, 63. 7 into 9 is equal to 63. Okay, and 67 minus 63 is equal to 4. So this is your answer. So 4 is the remainder. Okay, fine. So now my question is, I want to write the table of some number. Okay, any number you can take. 11. Let's say 11. So what we need to write here, guys? Can you please quickly tell me so that I can write immediately and we can move further. I want to print the table of 11. What we should write? Guys, please quickly respond. First statement, what we should write?
We will declare first.
Okay, declare. What do you want to declare? Some number. Yeah,
Yeah.
Balan, I want to print the table of 11. So yeah, I have defined here int int. You want to initialize here only. You can initialize like this because I want to print the table of 11. That's why I'm initializing it with 11. Clear? Now what you will do next? Declare int equal to 11.
We will take another. Yeah, we will take another variable also.
Another variable. Okay. Can you please spell it out? Any variable?
Yeah, we can take it X or M, whatever. Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
and we will initialize it as 1.
Okay. Next. What do
Then
you?
we can use while statement.
But before while we
No, no, no. We will. Yeah, we should write begin,
yes begin, then
and then we will use while
while
I is less than or equal to 10.
okay
Then we will write loop
okay and loop also, then
and
immediately like how we
right.
are using how we are starting the curly braces, immediately we are closing. So here also you used to you should define like this always. You make the habit of this, and then end loop, and yes, and then end, and then slash. So here inside, so inside this you have to write, right? So let me just check one more thing here. Okay, so everywhere semicolon is required. Okay, so here also semicolon is required, and here also semicolon is required. No, upper side semicolon is not there. Here semicolon is not there. Okay, now you have to define. Can you please tell now what we need to do?
I,
X is equal to
maybe we need to take one more variable for storing the results or what?
no X. You are taking X only, right? You are taking X for storing only. What is the problem? Or you want to store
We
it?
will use X for increment. No?
Can we use this variable? Now what we have to do? We have to write multiply is equal to X into
Into I.
I. Okay, and here at last what you have to write? You have to print it also.
dbms dot yes
Okay, dbms underscore
dot out.
output dot put underscore line. What do you want to print? I want to print the
Multiply.
multiplication. But no, this thing you have to write outside the loop. If you will write this inside the loop, this line will be repeated n number of times. Clear? You have to write it here. Okay. And yes, so you have to write double pipe symbol and multiplication. Any doubt, guys? And is there anything missing? Can you please tell me that?
Increment of I is missing here.
Why increment of I? I am already taking
So that
I
it can,
value as 11.
yeah, because we want to increase the I as well, because first it will be
Okay.
11 into
If you
1, then
will
it will be 11 into 2.
do like this, I is equal to I plus 1. Okay. That means I value will be incremented. So first time whenever I value will be 1, okay, and X value is 1. Sorry, I value is 11, and X value is 1. Clear? So
Yeah, yeah, we need to increment X. Sorry, X. It's not
sorry.
I.
So you have to increment X, not I. So this is be careful about this. So guys, any confusion in this? Okay, so why you are using plus? Yeah, so if you are using any programming language, generally we use plus symbol, right? So instead of this, we are using just plus. Instead of that double pipe symbol, we are using. Okay, cool. So let me see. Okay, there is one more syntax of for loop. It's a very simple for and some variable name in. And see, I already told you this whenever I'm using inside the syntax at the time of explaining the syntax, if I'm using square round, I mean square braces, right? So these are the optional thing. So it is not mandatory. Okay, so for variable name in this particular value to this particular value loop and end loop. How it is? See here, declare. Okay, so here you have to see double dot you are using. Okay, so declare begin. I want to print the value from 1 to 70. for I in 1 dot dot 70, value 1 dot dot value 2, start loop, end loop, and slash, and then inside this loop what we are doing, if it is divisible by 7, then do this, print this statement. Okay, and this is how your question is. And now I want to reverse this. Okay, if you want to reverse this, what is the syntax for variable name in value 1 to value 2, 1 to 70, but here we can use reverse. Okay, no, we are not incrementing anywhere. Have you seen anywhere we have incremented the value here? No, plus plus symbol nowhere we have used. If we are not using plus plus, how can you use minus minus also? Okay, if you want to use, if you want to come from 70 to 1, if you want to reverse, you want to come from in reverse order, you have to use reverse keyword here, reverse. That's it. Okay, yeah. See here, declare begin I in reverse 1 to 70, and then print the values. Clear? And while do also. There is one more syntax of while do. Okay, so again it's a simple only. You can yeah. So this is, you can see this, it will work in MySQL. Don't worry. So we'll see that later. So up to here, whatever the syntaxes we have discussed, conditional statement, if statement, else, if else statement, if else if statement, looping statement, do while, for loop. Okay, all these statements we have discussed so far. Any confusion, any doubt, if anybody is facing, they can ask. Otherwise, we can close the session for today. Okay, so let me just stop the recording.